Hi guys, as usually it's me, just an off-screen voice, and you are watching Review Machines. And today we have got for review another interesting machine. This time it's buggy, which is called Fun Cruiser. It's small branch production vehicle, and it's rather rare to become across. But nevertheless, I think this buggy is worth our attention, cause it's made for only one purpose – to make fun and enjoy the distant rides. That is why it's called Fun Cruiser. And today we will try to get so much fun as it's possible with this buggy. As I said, it's small branch production, these machines are only made to order. But on the other hand, the factory tries to do their best to provide best quality. Every part was very thoroughly selected and went through the numerous tests before it's installed in the vehicle. The engineers of the factory say that it took about 5 years to get the final version of the buggy, and now its design is very well balanced, polished and ready for the hardest adventures. Well, the factory was trying to create the most reliable buggy, because this vehicle is considered as a transport for the longest journeys, so the reliability is very important. That is why an engine and a gearbox were taken from unusual car, but then these parts were modified and thoroughly prepared for the hardest conditions of use. Well, the reliability is important, but the repairability also cuts much ice. So all the parts were selected in such way to be easily found and bought in any nearest spare parts shop. So if any breakage happens, it will be possible to get any required part, repair the buggy and continue a long journey. And now let's have a look at the main specs of the vehicle. The base here is a space frame that also works as an anti-roll cage. It's made of good steel tubes with 40 mm diameter. The frame is very durable and it meets all the safety demands. As I've mentioned, the buggy is equipped with an engine from a regular car. The displacement is 1.6 liters and it has 98 horsepower. Many of us think that such an engine is absolutely not impressive. But do not forget that our body is much lighter than a regular car, so it may impress with this engine, and we will make sure of it a bit later. The gearbox is also from a car, but it was seriously modified. The radiator is mounted behind the frame, and it has a powerful cooling system. The buggy has effective hydraulic brakes with protected hoses. There are 2 sport seats that provide safety for the passengers. The interior is very simple. We see here a sport steering wheel, a gearbox lever and a dashboard. Also there is an audio system under the roof. It's waterproof and it can work in mud, rain and snow. But the main point of the whole construction of the buggy is the suspension system. It's very expensive top-efficient suspension rigger. It has very long travels. It's 400 mm at the front and 280 mm from behind. Adjustable shocks are very heavy duty. They are able to provide smooth ride on rough terrain. First of all, I strengthened the leash to try the buggy myself, so I took the driver's seat and prepared for a ride. First thing I noticed, it was rather comfortable there. Nice seat and steering wheel. All the handles and levers are near at the hand, so it didn't take much time to get the feel of it. The gearbox has 5 ranges. The first one is very slow, it's used for off-road and toughest conditions. So if the ground is quite flat, it's recommended to start moving with the second gear. I should say my first impressions of the ride were rather pleasant. The vehicle is very light, so it picks up speed very quickly. Push the throttle a bit more and the wheels immediately start to do burnout. Firstly I tried to slow down if I saw some hummocks. But then I understood, the suspension system worked perfectly. It absolutely absorbed all the hummocks and other roughnesses, so I didn't need to slow down at all. It whirls on rough terrain with a slight wiggle, so the buggy provoked me to speed up. The suspension is so effective that it allows to drive this buggy on rough terrain with a speed more than 50 miles per hour. Let's have a look how it works. You see how much it travels. But the body on the vehicle moves very smoothly. It's very interesting to watch the suspension working, isn't it? It's worth mentioning that on a flat ground the buggy can accelerate up to 80 miles per hour. Not bad, taking into account that it's possible to register the vehicle and ride it legally even on city roads. But of course it's cut out for off-roading. Wide fields and roads in the forest, there you may really enjoy riding this buggy. By the way, it's rear drive vehicle, so it may do some drifting. To tell the truth, it may be some lack of power to do real drift on a hard road, but it's great pleasure to do it in mud. Well, also you might think that if it has a rear drive, it's not capable to overcome some off-road obstacles, but it isn't so. You remember, it's very light. Then it has a differential lock, so it's quite ready for cross-country riding. Of course, you'd better not go in gloomy swamps in this vehicle. Leave it for full-wheel drive cars. But anyway, it's not worse on off-road than a regular quad, for example. The main thing for successful off-road driving is to move as fast as you can, thanks to the perfect suspension system. And if you manage to get stuck in the end, you will be able to escape from the trap with the help of the winch. And now let's enjoy some awesome riding. Well, it looks rather cool, doesn't it? By the way, our rider forgot to put on a dry suit, so he had to ride in ordinary clothes. Just imagine how tough it was. Also, I want to mention some story about this buggy. Few years ago, two guys managed to travel by this buggy from Moscow to, wait for it, to India. I think this fact tells us about the reliability of the vehicle better than any words. Also, you may notice that there was another bug in this video. I didn't tell a word about it, cause I think it's worth another full review. It's full-wheel drive buggy, and it's interesting that it's equipped with the engine from Honda 2 liters capacity, so it's considered as one of the most powerful middle-class buggy in the world. Please push the like button if you want to see a video about it. And now let's call it a day. Thanks for watching, guys, please consider subscribing the channel if you liked this video. It will be many more interesting materials here. Goodbye.